we'll get to the audience questions now. The first is, if the recession is balancing out and the initial panic is over, what is the next important area to concentrate in for retailers? Is it service? Is it store experience? What? And go ahead.
I mean, I think it's all the above. I think it's everything, because you can't have one without the other. So if you come in and, you know, it's like if you go into a store and you don't see anything the first time, then you'll probably go back a second time, but will you go back a third time? So you have to sort of take all of it in, whether it's the service, it's the product, it's the entire experience. It's also what they see online. You know, there's obviously a tremendous amount of things that are going on, and so you need to be, you know, integrated with every single piece of it. So I don't know that there's necessarily one thing to focus on. It's a little bit more of sort of what's the holistic approach to all of it.
Yeah, for Lululemon, it was this multi-channel brand experience and ensuring that what we've created in our retail spaces is going to transcend to these other channels and create that same experience that people like.
I fully agree with both of you. I think what's interesting with brands who have lots of stores, when they start going into e-commerce, it sometimes sounds like they open e-commerce as though it's just another store, and they allocate resources as though it's just another store and almost like a regional store, which I think is pretty crazy. I think they should treat online as kind of the mothership of all flagship stores, because there's so much potential there, and you're reaching customers across the country and potentially across the world. So I would definitely put more resources towards online.
David, I was going to ask if I were a retailer and I had an online store that's accessible through a mobile phone, what's the next step there, or is there one thing that you would advocate for in terms of mobile technology after having a store?
Well, I think it's how does the mobile aspect provide you utility in your life? So it's more than just about showing you a new collection or showing you where a store is, or even just giving you a discount because you're near. I think it's really about how can the application from a particular brand give you a new kind of utility in your life? How can it enhance and enrich what you do? And maybe that's through recognizing patterns amongst your friends. Maybe that's looking at your own personal patterns and showing you how you reflect the brand yourself. And it's through this intimacy that you discussed that creates this great trust and deflects the privacy concerns, because there's a feedback loop. So, people are willing to put their life online because they're heard. And so there's a reward for it. And people are willing to share things that we used to have to pay for. So like you can get a free encyclopedia that people volunteer for because people know that it's taken seriously. And so this all comes through creating utility and functionality and usefulness. And I think ultimately beyond the logo is usefulness.
Are there any particular examples of that, of whether they're just ideas that you've discussed in class or something that you've seen in terms of usefulness beyond the store?
Well, the project that you showed, it was about how you could organize your wardrobe based on connecting it to the weather report, your social calendar, and everything, so that it made recommendations about what to wear based on your mood. So if you were feeling unhappy, it would suggest, oh, I see you have a date tonight. It's kind of cold out. I know this is in the laundry. You haven't worn this in a while. This is really up and coming again, and helps you to create that outfit and then share it so that other people can then respond to you so that you're heard, and it creates that feedback loop of positive reinforcement.
Well, we have one last question, and it is, do you feel that trend spotters or trendsetters will be of more value than people in entertainment in the future?
So basically putting your product on
Are people influenced more by trend spotters or by celebrities in the future?
Got it. In the future. Lululemon's gambling on your yoga, what your yoga instructor's wearing is what's going to inspire you to get that same outfit, and not what you see on a celebrity.
I mean, I think that the word celebrity is so vague and so broad these days that it's all sort of one and the same. I don't think that the idea of the sort of movie star will ever go away. I think people will still always want to have that sort of, whether it's Grace Kelly, Natalie Portman, whomever, Nicole Kidman, sort of want to have what it is that they have. But then you also look at someone like Kim Kardashian, who has 2.7 million people following her on Twitter, and can wear something and then it'll sell out. So I think it's an interesting. The classification itself is so interesting in terms of who qualifies as a celebrity. You have 13 and 16-year-old bloggers who are really, in a lot of worlds, considered celebrities, and their influence is driving sales just as much as a star would. So the world of itself is changing so rapidly that I think that they're all going to have a lot of influence. I don't think celebrity, the quote-unquote celebrity, will ever really go away, but I think that there are a lot of people, especially in the world of bloggers, who have a tremendous amount of influence as well.
Well, thank you so much. I think, are we out of time now? Okay, we're out of time. But I really appreciate your being here. I think it's been a really enlightening panel. So thank you. And thank you for coming.